Socialist Workers' Party.
Or you blame. I forgot about that. Famous communist. Dude, World War II was leftist infighting. Okay, so I wanted to show you this.
Oh, I thought you already watched this.
No, I didn't. So chatters came in here and were like, dude, have you addressed the video that came out on you? And I was like, what? Of like Charlie Kirk obliterating you. And I was like, what the are you talking about, bro? I haven't talked to Charlie Kirk since like 2018. And it turns out a couple conservatives, including the based conservative.
Oh, the based one.
Made Hasan Piker made this video. And I thought it was this video that they were talking about. I was like, oh, people are still doing like Hasan videos, which used to pop, but they don't anymore. But I guess they still pop in conservative circles, right? And then I found this. Millionaire mentor. Fight erupts as Charlie Kirk obliterates Hasan Piker in epic debate. And this video has 921,000 views since we last played. Since I mentioned on stream.
All your fans are watching
in 2 days.
Fuck my channel.
I know, dude. That's what I thought too. Dude, that's what I thought too. I should. You need to start making like Hassan Sucks videos, and I need to start making them too.
I've got all this like rare access to your like darkest moments.
I know.
I could film you sleeping.
Yeah, I saw you at Denny's alone the other day, and you took a mat in the restroom. Yeah, totally. Anyway, so
videos?
Of course, no, dude. Okay, so Millionaire Mentor. You're like, what? That's insane.
He teaches us how to do.
He's doing like that's classic Millionaire Mentor stuff though. I looked at his other videos, and his other videos get 2,000 views, 3,000 views. These other videos, 3,000 views. Woke student gets humiliated as Dinesh D'Souza destroys his argument. Piers Morgan goes off on woke activist, 44,000 views.
This is insane.
Woke culture shattered by Jordan Peterson, 11,000 views, 17,000 views. He has 300,000 subscribers.
Wait, what? He ose you money.
And then we looked at his like, we looked at his social blade. And last year, in the month of August last year, he had minus 58 million video views, which means he like privated.
Oh, they took him off.
He probably took off a bunch of videos.
Oh, that's so lame.
Yeah. So like last year alone, my man, lost more than like a total of 60 million views.
What's nuts is that he can still do it. Like, surely if 1 year you lose 57 million views because of bots, surely you'd be like, okay, this guy can't upload anymore. Like, it's insane.
It could be a bot account, or it could be a botted account.
See, I've had it on my channel where they're like, oh, there have been some, suspicious views on your channel. We're going to alter the views for that. And they get rid of like 200 views or something. Like it's not... 57 million is pretty hectic. This guy's paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, apparently this video was like posted on the Turning Point USA. Yeah, likes are still at 23K.
You've never seen an intellectual beating like...
By the way, likes were at 23K. Video went up by 100,000 views. Likes still at 23K. But, that's besides the point. Anyway, so let's take a look at this video.
Are you ready? Might not be nice to watch yourself being obliterated.
Dude,
I would not want to watch myself being obliterated.
I know. It's going to be really sad. Well, luckily I was there, so I know what actually happened.
What's the occasion? What gets you and Charlie Kirk together?
Politicon. Back when that used to be a thing. So it was a convention. It was a political convention where they would just like bring, leftists, Democrats, right-wingers, Nazis together and have them duke it out. I debated Charlie Kirk in 2018. The video, I've done videos on it. I've done analysis on it. I actually had former friend of the show, Destiny, back when I was just starting off on Twitch.
Cute.
Do analysis on it and stuff like that. Bro, that isn't even him in the video. He hired someone to dunk on you. Jason Stone, are you ready for the next level? He's a serial entrepreneur with multiple seven-figure... Wait, this guy's like at least camera ready. Why did he hire like a incredibly unattractive person?
Wait, that's actually him?
Wait, if this is him, why? What is going on right now?
Maybe conservatives need people who look like them in order to spruik the message.
He could be a conservative looking person. Anyway, I think that guy might have just bought the account and is like rebranding it potentially.
It's so rough. I just feel like you can't do bots on YouTube. Like they want internal views. It's just a weird thing to do. So
this is a bought YouTube account from India. Wait, what? So this guy bought it, but then hired this guy to do the video? I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
this, Hasan Piker stood no chance against my boy Charlie Kirk in this debate on capitalism and the free market when Hasan was exposed as walking and talking contradiction against his own positions on the subject. But that's not all, because you need to stick around.
Wait, is he gonna say that I was like I'm rich and that's why I can't be socialist? Because like back then I was broke, which is like the pivotal moment that he's gonna show in this debate is when Charlie Kirk is like talking about how much money I make. And I tell him I make $60,000 a year. Like, what?
Well, then you're angry at him because you're jealous.
Yeah, exactly. Then you switch it. They're like, oh, you're just jealous of rich people. Exactly.
Around to see the debate nearly turn into a wrestling match as the Young Turks' Cenk Uygur starts screaming from the audience for no reason at all. Just subscribe to the channel for more discussions like this. Let's jump into it.
By the way, this is precisely why I say like it's so much easier to be a wing grifter. Like this guy looks like shit, sounds like shit, is resurfacing a debate from like 8 years ago, not 8 years ago, but whatever. And is like, yeah, that's right. He got found instant 1 million views in 2 days.
It's amazing.
I'm not gonna lie. Both of us are jealous of the numbers, by the way. Let's make no mistake. I am, dude.
I gotta write obliterating in my title a bit more.
Dude, no, YouTube just like pumps right wing shit so hard. I swear to God. I mean, I found him. I think he's just a host they hire.
Wait, they hired him and put him in this apartment so he looks like a millionaire.
He doesn't look like this anymore either, by the way. But anyway, let's see what my boy's doing here.
Currently, the economic system that we're living under is inherently exploitative, it's inherently oppressive, and we're now actually feeling the devastating impact of that more than ever. We live in a country...
Wait, how is 60K broke? How is 60K broke? There's always some like dumb mother in the chat. How is $60,000 broke? I live in America, in Los Angeles, California, bro. What are you talking about?
Things are very expensive here.
What are you talking about, brother? Like, it is... Like, there's always a guy who's like, oh, dude, $60,000. You were living a life of luxury. I'm actually signing off from a potato right now. I'm homeless in Uganda. Like, okay, man, thanks.
Socialism is famously a race to the bottom.
Yeah,
just,
yeah. That also is the other side of the equation that we don't even ever to discuss. But also, $60,000 now is pretty much broke everywhere in the United States of America. $60,000 back in back in 2018 wasn't great for California, but like might have been pretty solid for like Oklahoma or whatever.
What's the median in America? Because this is like the median wage in Australia, $60K US.
Right now, I don't know. Let's see. Times have changed. Median wage in the US is 45. Why'd you say $45,000?
I don't understand. Well, maybe the different cities in America are cheaper, but I could like...
Wait, 60K USD is the median wage in Australia?
Pretty
no
high.
Shot. What?
It was 45 just like 5 years ago.
Oh my God.
65. Is that Australian or is that 98? Yeah. 98 is me. 98's high.
98,000 per year, and the median salary around 65,000.
The average is median 65. Wait, that's not American?
No, that's got to be Australian dollar dues, right? Yeah.
Because like a teacher's starting salary is like 55,000 Australian.
Let's continue.
Where there are 40 million Americans, we live in the wealthiest nation that has ever existed, the wealthiest nation on the planet, and we have 40 million Americans living in poverty. We have 18.5 million Americans living in extreme poverty, according to the latest UN reports. Climate change is happening no matter how hard people try to deny its existence, and its outcomes are devastating, especially for millennials, and this is something that we need to focus on. And unfortunately, every single time we tried to bring about any sort of socialized solutions to these problems that the free market obviously fails to provide solutions for, we get called socialist, and that idea is inherently damaging. We live under an inherently oppressive capitalist dogma, and I'm here to talk about that because I think that at least questioning that and striving to find a better system is exactly what young people should be doing right now.
Right. So
inherently oppressive. So small business owners are oppressing their employees.
Come on, you're hyper-focusing on small business, dog. I'm talking about capitalism versus socialism.
Even though 85% of all jobs in this country are created by small businesses, even though under this president, poverty rates have gone to the lowest level in the last 65 years.
Do you want to ask questions? Wait, hold on.
Let me finish. I let you finish, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish. 3.9 million Americans have gone off food stamps and into the labor force under this president. That should be applauded by everybody. When less people have to...
They cut. That's my favorite one.
Food stamps.
Yeah, when they cut food stamps and they force people into even worse conditions, and they're like, "What a dub! What a whopping dub that was!"
You'd be like,
when we killed poor people.
We created lots of jobs. These people are doing 3 jobs now.
Yeah. People used to do 1 job back in the day. That was some. Now they're doing 3. Oh, it's awesome.
To go to government for money and for meaning, and they instead are able to go to a job and have a paycheck. That's a good thing. And so the final thing I'll say is this, and you'll find disagreement. Just because someone gets rich does not mean someone gets poor. In order for you to get rich in a free market system, you must have a good idea. You must create value. You must employ people. You probably borrowed money. And you have an 80% chance of that business not succeeding. In a free market, yes, we applaud success, but you must take...
Why is Hasan objectively hotter then, but I'd much rather have him now?
Hey.
I don't think I look that different there than I do now.
Responsibility for failure, and you have seen in the last 100 years
I'm just wearing a suit.
The standard of living increased for all people across the world. Things get better, prices go down, and we are able to enjoy the abundance that only a free market system can create. And you know what? I don't have to call you guys socialists. Bernie Sanders
got it mounted like 10 meters in
we
the
should
air.
reject socialism.
Conjecture versus hard statistics, that's the bird's eye view of this debate, but I want to pick at something that Hasan Piker just remarked about capitalism as supposedly inherently exploitative.
Okay, let's hear.
6 years later, he's got the comeback.
Yeah, it took him. I can't wait. I suspect that he's going to talk about the extraction of surplus labor value is good. Actually, you idiot. Poor people don't know what to do with all that money.
That's true.
All that money that they're generating for their bosses, it's much better served in the hands of their bosses. Duh.
Easy.
How can Hasan make that explicitly Marxist talking point and yet not claim to be a Marxist? The entire edifice of Marxist thinking lies in
Dog, that was literally 6 years ago. I think we're way past that point. People call me a terrorist now, okay? We've moved beyond like, oh, Hasan, is he Marxist? Is he not a Marxist? No, they're like, Hasan is a Marxist, Islamist, fundamentalist, Al-Qaeda supporting terrorist now. That's like
Hamas Piker.
Yeah, Hamas Piker is what they call me nowadays. This guy's still talking. This guy's arguing against me from 6 years ago. Oh, back when things were so much better, and I could.
They were better for him as well. He was hot 6 years ago.
Oh, damn, that's rough.
It happens to us all.
Things were so much better. That is like the one big L. I should have never said what I believe in, and I should have just been like, "What are you talking about? I love capitalism, but also like, wouldn't it be great if workers had more control over their lives? You know, that sort of
Fine.
Yeah,
Everything's literally fine for everyone.
No, I don't mean it like that. I just mean like advocate for the same things I advocate for without saying I'm a socialist. I think that I would have a better way of being able to reach a broader audience and convince them.
Well, it's just such a dirty word here.
Yeah, I know. It's so tough.
During the profit motive as an exploitation of the working class and as a means to extract their labor with minimum possible compensation. But the problem is...
Wait. Okay, Marxist
the entire edifice of Marxist thinking lies in construing the profit motive as an exploitation of the working class and as...
It's not construing the profit motive. It's just descriptive. Like, it's not... You're describing what profit is. What do you mean?
As a means to extract their labor with minimum possible compensation. But the problem is...
that no boss is like, I would love to pay you above market rate. The concept of market rate is literally determined on that exact principle. What are you talking about?
No, you make profit by coming up with good ideas, like starting a channel and paying for bots. That's a really good idea. Make lots of money.
Millionaire mindset, baby. No, but like actually,
like selling tacos.
That's the
like, the B-roll's really good as well.
Yeah. No,
the person handing that taco is making like $2.
Yeah. Or they're their own boss, baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's construing the entire system of the free market as exploitative when it is the same system that has accomplished more to uplift people from poverty.
Okay, he just moved past the exploitation. He literally he didn't even like try to tackle surplus labor value. He just said like, oh yeah, oh, it's exploitative to pay people the least amount that you can pay them. So stupid. Think about how awesome capitalism is at uplifting people from poverty, which like there's two different schools of thought on this. Either you look at like the change of what was considered to be extreme poverty to what it is now as a reason as to why so many people have been quote unquote uplifted from extreme poverty, or you look at China, which if I were to ask this person, I suspect he wouldn't say China is like a state capitalist enterprise or something. I think he would.
I think they're pretty versatile. These guys. I feel like China's capitalist when it's bringing people out of poverty.
Okay. Yeah. How does that? Oh, so slave work is up. Oh, so you think the pyramids suck? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, someone doesn't like cotton clothes. Weird. Anyway,
slavery has done more to clothe people than any other system.
Yeah, exactly. How dare you? How dare you talk about that with such unseeming terms, such mean terms? Isn't Walmart the most socialist corporation in America? No. Okay. Overall, yes. The reason why billions have been lifted out of extreme poverty is China. Is Chinese development. Take China out of the equation, the situation is not great.
We're going backwards.
Yeah, we're not going forward. We're going backwards. You're delusional, but maybe he loves the CCP. Probably. Maybe he's maybe he's going to say that now. Let's see.
Across the world in any centralized system of government or socialist economy could even fathom. Since the turn of the last century, humanity has dropped the share of people in extreme poverty from 6% to less than...
Oh, yeah, he is doing the extreme poverty.
We changed the metric for...
Oh, yeah. Okay, not only is the metric changed, okay, but also beyond that, it's still China. He's a dentist. Yeah, no, I was wrong. My bad, bro. He's questioning my... He's questioning my leftist bona fides. He's like, oh, excuse me, sir.
10%. There's no single person or government that can claim credit for that, but a simple idea at the heart of it.
No, there is one. It's China. There's one. Like literally. That's not even. By the way, the funniest part about that is that like it's not like economists even call into question that reality. Like economists will openly be like, no, it's China. So it's like there's not a book that agrees with you on this front. But you can just like leave that data as it is. And that's one thing, right? You can leave that data as it is, and that's fine, okay, to make an argument. But if you like, I don't know, scratch the surface of that data a little bit, you will recognize that, it is literally China, which is ironic because he talked about centralization.
Yeah, like, he didn't even talk about socialism. He's talking about centralized governments.
Yeah, centralized government is a bad thing. Okay, I don't know which government is not really all that centralized ultimately, especially not the United States of America, but like... But China is definitely, once again, the argument that you're making is China, and they are, due to arguably their centralization. But let's continue.
People have the right to private property and the freedom to engage in trade and cooperation to enrich everyone in the process. And yet there's no shortage of people in the United States and across the world.
I love these like theoretical arguments. Like, dude, it's lifting people out of poverty, not China. Also, everyone's getting wealthy along the way.
True.
Yeah, that's why there's like people taking on the sidewalk in the United States of America.
They do that. That's their choice.
Yeah, because it's a moral failure. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Capitalism works if it wasn't for all these degenerate people who don't know how to make good decisions.
Who aren't watching Millionaire Mentor.
Exactly. If you're mentored by the right people,
that's so true. Yeah. I mean, here is the socialist. Here's the socialist. This is a Trotskyist paper. The BBC. Is China lifted 100 million people out of poverty? China's poverty figures. Poverty is defined by China as everyone in rural areas earning less than 2/3. Oh, wait, what is this? Wait, what? This graph, this World Bank graph shows that extreme poverty fell in China by a lot.
Like 800 million people.
That's so. Wait, is the World Bank like? Is that a Marxist institution?
Yeah. No, they're globalists, which is the same
Jewish.
The same thing. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
But let this guy talk. I want to hear. I got
Sorry,
so
Lou.
excited when he started talking, like he actually was addressing Marxist theory. I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be.
He
like
did for like a second, only to just completely sidestep
Ignore
and be
it,
like, capitalism is awesome, you fucking idiot.
World that are willing to sacrifice these two fundamental principles to the altar of some unattainable utopia. Watch Hasan Piker struggle to make sense of that even to himself.
You know what socialist is? Bernie Sanders wants an 80% tax rate on the rich.
Venezuela too, right? Dude, listen.
Bernie Sanders wants to keep our fossil fuel assets in the road.
You want me to explain it to you? Because you obviously don't understand it. Do you want me to explain it to you?
Is Cuba not socialist? Is North Korea not socialist? Was
Cuba is socialist and it's awesome. Suck my.
the most doctors per
Vietnam
capita.
not socialist? Was Zimbabwe not socialist? You can laugh all you want. Hassan,
Okay, do you
but
want me to
100
explain it
million
to you?
people died under socialism in the last 100 years.
Oh, wait. I wonder if he cuts off my argument because I actually dunk on him pretty hard here where I talk about like global
That's
capitalism, the deaths under global capitalism under the similar principles would be akin to 14 million due to famine alone before we even factor in like, other diseases.
Who was it? Arundhati Roy, who's someone like compiled like just India alone over the past 100 years, deaths from capitalism. It's just like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Insane number of
And you
people.
have the gumption to continue.
Okay.
You can keep laughing.
Hold on.
Yeah, 100 million people died under socialism, which includes the Black Book of Communism figures, which is so funny, literally talk about, one, all the Nazis that were killed, okay? And also factors in the possible children they would have had. Are you insane? Oh, man. I cannot believe all the Nazi children that could have been alive today if the communists didn't kill them in World War II.
It's also just like it's also just a general economic development thing where like if you start industrializing, you move into cities, people do just have less children. That's just what happens. I mean, I think that's like a bad thing. That's what this guy's,
Yeah.
To the victims' families from Cuba, from Venezuela, from Korea, from Vietnam, from Mao's China, from Stalin's Russia.
Vietnam? Wait, dude, he was just dropping so many bombs in there. I didn't even. It took me 6 years to hear him say Vietnam. Who was more victimized in Vietnam? I wonder who was responsible for more deaths in Vietnam. Communism, which under the watchful gaze of Ho Chi Minh, gave the Vietnamese people liberation and autonomy and sovereignty, or the American Defense Department that dumped so much Agent Orange in Vietnam that children still have birth defects in the country to this day. Anyway,
Russia, the number one killer of citizens from innocent civilians in the last 100 years has been the very idea that you shamelessly wear on your sleeve every single day. Marxism has killed more people than any other ideology over the last 100 years.
Okay. Thank you for those words.
You're welcome.
When 100 million people die under a communist dictatorship, and some of those millions are also Nazis, which is included there, whatever, you blame communism.
National Socialist Workers Party?
Or you blame...
I forgot about that.
Hitler's a communist
Oh,
too.
yeah, Hitler. Oh, yeah, Adolf Hitler, famous communist.
He was such a communist. He wanted to kill all the other communists to make him the best one.
Yeah. Dude, World War II was leftist infighting. Yeah, FDR, also communist. Think about it. Yeah. Wow. Let him cook.
You blame socialism, but when 7 million people die every year under our current global capitalist environment, where just by famine alone, before we even talk about imperialism and before we even talk about the damaging wars that are happening all around the world, then it's the individual. So you're essentially telling every single person that's poor, it's your fault that you're poor, it's your fault that you die under a capitalist system, but if you were under a communist system...
I have never said that.
I mean, that's literally what you're saying.
No, it's not. I'm
so
saying
whose fault is it? Whose fault is it that 7 million people every year die just by famine-related diseases and famine under our current global capitalist structure?
Which, by the way, has a massive abundance of food production. Like when we're killing all the birds, or when we're trying to maybe restructure under. When you're trying to move an agrarian society to the industrial giant over the course of and engaging in collectivization efforts over the course of multiple decades, while also fighting a massive war against the industrial might of the Nazis, obviously there's gonna be some miscalculations along the way with crop rotations. Like I would say that in and of itself is, still pretty bad, but nowhere near as horrific as like having an abundance of food, like a surplus of food.
It's just there.
That's just there, but because of the profit motive, like
it's funny,
people have to die.
They focus on these guys coming in like Stalin and these famines, and it's just like, what about the famines like under the Tsarist Russian Empire? Like, that shit was brutal. Like, it's just like, no, that's irrelevant. All the famines that were going on up until then don't count. It's the ones that when the communists came.
No, personally, I think it's unconscionable. It's unconscionable. It's unconscionable to have an abundance of food and have like the capacity to basically feed every single person on this planet, and simply have a logistical problem and a lack of interest to do so due to the profit motive, that and allow at least 7 million people to die due to famine every year, then fuck up on your efforts of miscalculating on your efforts of how to manage an entire economy. I think it's significantly worse.
Individual fault, is it?
Yeah. Why is it with the system when it comes to communism? But it's actually,
go from 40 years to 80 years in America for women and 76 years for women.
You're not answering my
Global
question.
poverty is at its all-time low than it ever has been. It's dropped below 10%.
You're not answering my question. You're not answering. You're talking about something
There's not a
completely
singular
different.
person why individuals might die, unfortunately. However, what's going to stop that?
It's unfortunate when they die.
Oh, yes, yes, Hassan. Death is unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
I love what Charlie Kirk just
His
did
shoes
there.
are
It's
so
incredible.
sick.
Yeah, he's wearing I think those are the Kanye foam runners, aren't they? Aren't those the Kanye's, by the way? Like the wave runners? Because like this was literally when he was like first linking up with Kanye, I think. Anyway.
That people like Hasan Piker would first decry the corruption by what is fundamentally just crony capitalism, and then call for a select few people to have centralized control over the economy, with seemingly no understanding that centralizing power also means centralizing corruption. And guess what? That's exactly what is happening in every state.
I don't see a difference between those two. I think centralized corruption and dispersed corruption are both bad. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no,
like,
you don't understand.
Isn't
dude.
it worse when like the government?
No, you don't understand. That's crony capitalism because real capitalism hasn't been tried yet.
Yeah, right.
Real capitalism hasn't been tried yet. Once we do, though, oh my God, dude. Once we open up the baby market, the free market of babies, okay, as Rothbard intended, we will literally arrive at full tilt, perfect utopian capitalism. Okay. Anyway, yeah, you can have decentralized socialism. Yeah, in your mind. Okay.
I mean, I think that sounds nice. It's just like, if you do, the Americans are going to come in and wipe the floor with you.
Yeah, that's great. It happens sometimes. Could happen.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah, I like it. Anyway, let's continue.
State and country that has tried to implement socialist economies, where people's greed for wealth makes them want to seek political power rather than...
I don't understand, like, dude, the greed for wealth is good under capitalism. like that's your modus operandi. Like that's literally your operating principle. That's what your starting point is. Like greed is good. Like what?
Produce something and sell it into a marketplace, but let's give Hasan the benefit of the doubt, because maybe what he really is calling for is socialism in the sense of redistribution and welfare systems. Looking from this perspective, there's
he's saying maybe Hasan's a Keynesian. I want to think that he just wants a welfare state, like a robust welfare state. Like, no, dude, I don't just want a robust welfare state. Anyway, you could also interrogate my opinions as I have like broadly stated them very loudly and proudly, almost to a fault, for the past 6 fucking years since this debate happened.
There's one critical flaw in socialism you hardly even see socialists themselves deal with. It is that socialism of this kind works very well in theory when you've got the wealth to begin with. But to lay out the right incentive structures...
Wait, but America does have this kind of wealth to begin with.
That's great.
So is he saying that like this kind of socialism would work in the United States of America? Oh, thank you.
So nice.
Thank you for agreeing with my point, I guess.
It's the red shirt. He's on the outside.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, he's literally advocating for socialism with Chinese characteristics.
for people to create the wealth in the first place. That's similar to what the debate is with something like the medical industry in the United States. The world needs the United States medical industry to invent new medicines, surgeries, and equipment in order to benefit the field across.
This is also just a straightforward lie that like Republicans say all the time. Every single novel chemical compound discovery still happens ultimately with publicly funded research. That's number one. And number two, the United States of America isn't even the leader in novel chemical compound discovery when you look at novel chemical compound discovery per capita. As in, other countries actually spend a significant less amount of money for a novel chemical compound discovery than the United States of America does. And the only reason why America is good at novel chemical compound discovery in general is because obviously there is a massive country with a shit ton of immigration specifically for this kind of work. So that's it.
It's also funny when you look at Cuba that has like the GDP of 10 houses here in LA,
Yeah.
and they were the first ones to stop HIV transmission from mother to child.
Yeah,
through childbirth.
And they have
it's just like, you can do that on a
they have a
fucking
lung cancer
shoestring.
vaccine as well. So yeah,
And they're doing that with no money. They're just doing it over there. It's crazy.
Yeah. U.S. Pharma also just won't produce life-saving drugs if it isn't profitable enough. I know, it's so stupid.
And also they stop people from like actually like making innovative things by like evergreening their drugs. So it's just like doing like tiny little changes that have no purpose, and they just give you like property rights.
It's
and no one else can do it.
Juggling patents by finding new a lot of the R&D spending when a patent goes in to the hands of a private pharmaceutical corporation, a lot of that R&D actually is just finding new delivery mechanisms so you can extend the life of the patent for long periods of time.
But even that's just like anti-capitalist. I don't know. It's kind of funny because you got India that it's trying to make these changes, and they just keep getting like bullied out of it by like the kind of property rights of Western pharma companies.
Yeah.
Across the world, and yet the socialists still live in some kind of utopia where both benefits of that innovation can be socialized, while the incentives for people and companies to produce that innovation can be retained by giving them enough of a profit motive. For example, 90% of new drugs and medicines fail to make it to that phase 3 of trials, and more than 90% of
now he's just talking about America, like he's talking about the FDA. And again, yes, the failure implies that this cannot be a capitalist endeavor. What is he talking? I feel like he's making an argument for socialism every time.
Maybe that's why so many people like it.
Yeah, maybe that's why they liked it.
views.
Except when you look at the comments, they're like, Hasan is dying from a famine of common sense. The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. Margaret Thatcher. Imagine fleeing your country because of how socialist it was, only to come to America and say capitalism is shit and socialism is
socialist Turkey.
If socialists understood economics, then they wouldn't be socialists as Hayek. If Hasan Piker makes only $60K a year, how did he afford a $3 million mansion he just bought in Los Angeles?
2 days ago.
You can't, bro. How are you supposed to, a rich boy complaining about capitalism? You can't have a conversation with a person who's that stupid. Like, in his mind, there is no way that this video is like 6 years old. Like the debate that he is watching. And he just thinks like, oh, dude, I can't believe like this guy's just lying to so many people about how he's making 60 grand a year. What an idiot. He tried to hide it and he bought a $3 million mansion. What a jackass.
But also, if one of their guys, what is this guy called? Millionaire Tips, Millionaire Mindset. I don't know what his name is. But if one of them was like, I make $60K a year and I bought a $3 million mansion, they'd be like, that's my God. I love this guy. Like, teach me how to do it. You know, it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this shit is so old. It's been 3 years since I bought the house, by the way. Like, that's how, even the house memes are old. Why is Hasan rich? Why does he not divide his wealth? Why do people come over to America not to migrate to social countries like North Korea, China, including Hasan and Jake, Millionaire Socialist?
I mean, the reason I migrated to Australia was because America bombed my country. Like, that's I think that's a pretty normal reason to flee, but I don't know.
Charlie is a walking, talking encyclopedia of facts against socialism. Isn't Hasan the same guy who said Americans deserve 9/11? I never want to hear someone rich talk about socialism unless they are willing to start it themselves and give their money to others. This man is saying, like, why don't you arm and facilitate a people's revolution?
But also, if you gave money to others, you wouldn't be rich. Like, I don't understand what he's saying. I don't want to hear a rich person do this unless they weren't rich.
The OG Hasanabi from 200 years ago?
After the Austro-Turkish War of 1788, Serbians would again fall under Ottoman rule. For the next 16 years, they would face extreme oppression and slaughters by their tyrant lords. But this was about to change, when in 1804, a young Đorđe Petrović, after being elected by local chieftains, would rebel against the Ottomans in an attempt of independence.
He just didn't know what was good for him. He just didn't know.
But I want to see what happens.
He didn't know.
He would lead every battle and even earn the respect of Napoleon. Although the revolt would fail, he would be remembered for his bravery and rage, being nicknamed Karađorđe.
What is this music?
It's funny as well because he doesn't speak Serbian. The guy who's doing it is like, why are you making like a
This is
thirst
very
trap
odd.
for a nationalist hero?
His name is Balkan guy.
Come on, bro, learn to pronounce it.
What kind of Balkan? Does he do? You think he just only does like Serbian edits?
I've never seen like an American.
Dude, his name is Balkan guy. There is a 75% chance he's a straight up Nazi. Okay, I'm sorry. His name is Balkan guy. Oh no!
It is depressing the kind of fans you get as a Serb. It's so bad, bro. I met this guy. He's like liberal politician in Australia. Liberal over there is right wing.
Yeah.
And he's
everywhere
just,
else outside of America.
And he's just like, yeah, I love Serbs. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I haven't heard that. And he's like, yeah, the way what you guys did to the Muslims, we got to do that here. And it's just like, oh, thanks for the support. Like,
What the?
Yeah, you just get the worst people become fans.
Would you say that if the Ottoman Empire had successfully reformed and modernized, it would be better for everyone under it? I mean,
he would say that.
Yeah, I would say that.
Oh wait, can you put on? I sent you a video on Discord earlier in the day.
Oh yeah,
about.
I only saw.
Did you watch it?
I know. No, I only saw the comment that you made after the video, and I didn't see the video at first. And I was like, "What? Why did you send this to me?" Because you said Serbia is the greatest country in the world, and I only saw the comment. And I was like, "What?"
We've got like the highest level of cooperation with China out of any European country.
Even more than Hungary?
We're smashing it. Yeah.
Damn.
Where they're only like. What do they have like weird terms for it? Partner for the future or something.
State. Vassal state. You're the Belarus for China.
I'm fine with that. I am fine with that.
Serbia has visa-free travel to China?
Yeah,
whoa.
That's how I first went to China.
Are you okay hiding the fact that you are a god, but scared to let people know? Whoever asked me, tell everyone you're a real god, Hasan, and your friend as well. Both of you are gods now. Yeah, I'm the god of serving the top of the hour ad break, dude. Let's go. Damn, I did the schizo leap, dude. That's a debate that you never see, okay? The schizo debate. The alley-oop. Anyway, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, I guess you can imagine not seeing those ads if you're that chatter. But for the rest of you, you're going to have to subscribe for $5 or free. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
Biotech startups fail. Somebody has to bear the cost of that, and somebody has to invest that risk. It's only fair that...
Y'all ever feel like you're forgetting talking points and becoming worse advocates for socialism? No, not really.
I mean, I do. But that's because I'm not as good as talking. Talking. There you go.
You demonstrated that perfectly. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think about that at all, actually.
Whoever is responsible in case of loss is also deserving in case the drug or company is successful in turning a profit. That's the lack of understanding you see from Hasan displayed over and over again.
How about a 30-year patent on a drug
you don't
that
seem to
disallows
understand
someone with a better idea that would bring down the price of the drug?
What?
Well, it's just a weird point. He's like, Hasan doesn't seem to understand that 90% of the stuff that we make doesn't work. Like, doesn't pass the trials.
Yeah, that, like
you don't understand.
None of that, like, nothing he just addresses my point at all. Yeah. That, like, yes, novel chemical compound discovery is a costly endeavor, just like massive foundational leaps in technology, okay, require a ton of money to be spent on the research and development of it, including, but not limited to, the internet. And you cannot arrive at world-changing discoveries like this in technology without a shit ton of publicly funded research, especially under the increasingly shorter-term profit-seeking that is required under a capitalist organization of the economy. Well, that's it.
It's much more lucrative just to make make tiny little changes to keep your property rights, and you keep exploiting that.
yeah, this is like a moot point, especially when it comes to medicine, considering that like the rest of the world makes this work. It is one of the funniest ways in which Americans are cucked, and it's always the Republicans who are like, America first, I'm a nationalist, I love America, who then will turn around and be like, we're subsidizing the rest of the planet for, you know, medicine, which is not even true, because most companies literally have either global distribution patents for the same drug, or they have the American patent for the same drug. It's never both, okay? Companies usually don't own both the American distribution patents and the global distribution patents, okay? That's how much money you can get in the United States of America, that the entire rest of the planet you can sell to, or, you know, you sell to just America, because we're stupid and our government is unimaginably cucked to corporations that until Barack Obama, it was literally illegal to do, it was illegal to do any kind of price negotiations for bulk purchases of pharmaceuticals, even for the VA.
That's the saddest shit.
Dude,
that makes me so
sad. It was literally illegal, dude, which is crazy.
These guys love soldiers.
Yeah. And another one of the obviously funniest parts of this conversation is that why are corporations selling, let's say a corporation owns the distribution patent of a drug to both the United States of America and the rest of the world. Let's say they own the global distribution. Why would they sell to the rest of the world at much cheaper prices if they're not still turning profit? Are you stupid? What a stupid... Oh, they're magnanimous to, like, you know, China.
Yeah, we love
they
those
just
guys.
love, yeah, they're just like so nice to Australia and China. But when it comes to America, they're like, oh, well, you know, we're going to them. Like, what are you talking about? No, it's ridiculous that they can like make profits in almost every other marketplace that does engage in price negotiations, because they have some kind of socialized form of medication where the government purchases these drugs in bulk, right? And then even after, they're like, oh, those profits are not enough. We want extra profits from the dumbass fat Americans who are going to pay for it because there's nothing they can do about it.
So that the middle class could have the same sort of treatment that the rich and powerful have.
That's the regulation that you think I'm against?
No, I'm not saying you're against it. I'm saying what I'm for, Hasan.
I think we should... Look.
Again, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, you're right.
The free market allows itself to three really, really big things. It allows prices to go down, quality to go up, and abundance to go outward. Everywhere it's tried, whether it be grocery stores, whether it be housing, if the laws of the market...
Yeah, housing. Another phenomenal free market.
Was this 2018?
Yeah.
What was the housing situation like back then?
It was never good.
Great.
In America, it was never good. It's like, yeah, that's why literally all of the countries with the highest fucking home ownership rates are like former Soviet bloc countries and just socialist countries still, like have some semblance of existing socialism. Oh my God. Ridiculous.
Market do not stop working just because it's in healthcare. Whether it be LASIK eye surgery. LASIK eye surgery used to cost $20,000 per eye.
This is the funniest one. LASIK eye surgery is like the John Stossel argument. That's like the only argument that libertarians have, which is why it's like so fucking bad.
What, it got deregulated and got cheaper?
No, it was just never. It was never properly regulated, and that's why it was trash for the longest time. Libertarians love talking about LASIK and how affordable LASIK is, and it's like it literally sucks. It sucked for so long.
The insurance companies,
technological advancements that are
because of the free market,
more affordable.
The insurance companies would not cover the LASIK eye surgery.
Ridiculous.
It was a cash business. Doctors went outside of the traditional system, and all of a sudden now it costs $500 per eye for LASIK eye surgery.
Everything you're saying is flat out false. And also,
what's false about that?
Because we live under a mixed economy, Charlie. So it's a consequence of both publicly funded research and also certain private elements. So when you try to turn around and look at technological advancements that are happening in virtually every field, okay? Virtually every field on an international scale, and assume that this is just a consequence of free market capitalism, well, let's talk. Yeah, no, it's actually unicorns, dude. Unicorns are giving us magically the
Hasan, answer me a question.
If we're going to lie about this stuff, then we might as well just go all the way out.
Does insurance cover LASIK?
Does insurance
cover LASIK?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because when you don't have the insurance lobby within the negotiating of prices, then the consumer knows exactly what everything costs.
Are you going to?
The reason why healthcare costs so much in this country?
Wait, what?
He's trying to say, he's trying to say that like insurance lobby is like engaging in like rent-seeking behavior, or regulatory capture, or any number of different like things, such as like they are the reason why prices are so high. Which there's truth to that argument, except, you know, I'm not pro insurance. I'm pro abolition of insurance and abolition of any kind of privatization in the field of medicine due to inelastic demand. So I don't know why he's making that argument at all.
You go into a hospital, no one knows what anything costs. No one knows what anything costs, for how long you stay there, for how long the procedure is.
Yeah. The greatest counter to this is like, you're in an emergency room, okay? You got shot in the gut because luckily we have a lot of freedom and everyone has a gun and can use to shoot you. Right? Thank God for that. Bald eagle screech. Okay? What are you going to do? Are you going to pull up on your Google Marketplace
to try to figure negotiate here. Come on.
To figure out which hospital is cheaper for their emergency room facilities? Like, what do you mean? Price transparency is not the end all be all of making healthcare less costly. Okay? Ridiculous.
No, I'd rather die. I think I'd rather
This
die.
dude is just watching your video, not even reacting. How does that 1 million views? I think people are stupid. That's
no, I think in a year he's going to lose 57 million again.
Yeah.
it's obvious where the views are coming from.
Component of a market is pricing.
Yeah.
The problem with the system we have
we
now,
live in a country that is virtually the only country on the planet that does not negotiate drug prices. Even Donald Trump said he was going to do this, and he's failed to deliver on that promise, among many other promises, like he was going to solve the economy or that he was going to bring about world peace. Like, this is preposterous to assume that, like, insurance, you could just unjustifiably just throw out a claim without expecting me to, I can't even talk, holy shit, refute it when you say, when you make this ridiculous assertion that insurance companies are actually decreasing prices when it's not the government.
No, they're not.
It's regulating.
Hassan, I asked a very specific question. What? LASIK eye surgery.
Someone said this dude's doing Sniper Wolf commentary. Yeah, he's just sitting there like, you didn't even talk.
Covered by insurance.
Okay.
Consumers went straight to the doctor, so they knew how much it cost. Therefore, prices went down, quality went up, and accessibility went outward. That's what happens when a market is allowed to exist.
Again, there's only one person that appears to have done their homework on the issue, and that is not Hasan Piker. All you see from him.
Yeah, that's why healthcare is so good in America. Yeah.
But do you need the other kinds of healthcare? I think LASIK is pretty much all you.
Yeah, no, thing. Classic.
Everything's
once again. The only reason why LASIK was as cheap as it was is because it's literally deregulated. That's number one. And technological innovations have obviously made it easier to do LASIK in general. Having said that, however, the idea that like price transparency, because he has to triangulate his messaging to what Donald Trump was saying at the time, and Donald Trump was saying like price transparency, I'm going to give price transparency. The notion that like you're going to need immediate procedures that are like life-changing, like life-saving, right? And you just like pull out your phone to be like, oh, well, let me scroll through to look at all the hospital rates here, okay? Like, it's so stupid. It's a libertarian fantasy, okay? There is, at the end of the day, inelastic demand for healthcare, okay? That's it. No, and this isn't like this isn't like some Marxist concept. Inelastic demand is you know, it's capitalist, okay?
Are you sure? I reckon it's pretty elastic. I think under communism, people are going to exploit it. They're going to just get their spleen removed, you know? Just like
they're gonna
the demand's going to go up if it's free.
Yeah,
you know,
they're gonna get too much healthcare. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is listing out a bunch of problems that exist in the world and making no effort to connect that to anything that fundamentally stems from the free market. The truth is that most of the world's problems that he listed have no clear line drawn to capitalism inherently. For example, British researcher Alex de Waal did an extensive study and found out that most of the world's famines today are not a result of lack of food, but from military and political action in places like Africa and the Middle East.
Which is famously not a capitalist endeavor.
No, for the past 20 years, communist countries have been rampaging through the third world.
It's so up. The amount of wealth that has been extracted from the global south by communist nations is unimaginable. Okay, let me tell you. It's definitely not America. Who is responsible for these wars, I wonder?
It's not capitalism, it's America.
Yeah.
Like that's
Which is
a very sensible answer.
Yeah.
And the problems in the economy, like the 2008 crash or the manipulation of the markets to their detriment, happen more from corruption and a pervasion of...
It's not capitalism, it's corruption.
Dude, why didn't I think it's bad guys?
Yeah.
It's like there's good guys and then there's bad guys, okay? Let me tell you a story. It's like there's good guys and then there's bad guys. The bad guys are Jewish. This is why liberal unmaterialist, like anti-materialist thinking lends itself so perfectly to anti-Semitic conspiracies. Okay? Because ultimately, you have to find an outgroup of bad guys who are like, you know, controlling everything. And of course, historically, and these guys don't have, you know, they don't have a penchant for invention. So they end up using the oldest conspiracy, which is that Jews did it. Classic.
Capitalism versus the genuine free markets. But in a world like this, it's really something to see that kind of blind virtue signaling from Hasan, and it nearly spilled over into
I like
the physical.
that he launched into this being like utopian socialist Hasan.
Yeah.
Like these utopian thinkers.
No, my favorite argument is like when they call what I'm saying virtue signaling, where you're just like automatically admitting it's a virtue. So what are you doing? Vice signaling?
You're just saying the right thing because you want to look good.
Yeah.
Like, true.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, no, I agree. It is the right thing. Like, no, I'm going to say the wrong thing because it's the hard thing to say. Okay?
Domain, just take a look at this incredible moment.
So Hasan, why don't you give 95% of your money away and go live on a commune?
Do you really think that that's how it works? Do you really think
Why
that's
not?
how it works?
Go
This
live
is
what
silly.
you preach.
Look,
Because every single
This is as silly.
You talked uninterrupted for 5
This
minutes.
is-
Hasan, let me
Okay,
finish.
go ahead. Sorry, you're right. You're right.
I live
You're right.
what I practice.
Make
I'm
your
a free market
ridiculous
capitalist.
tweet,
I
point.
employ people. I took a risk. I have my own.
Yeah, I enslave them. I'm a free market capitalist, which is why I exploit the third world every day, and it's awesome. I'm living by my principles.
I love the whole taking a risk thing because, like, what are you risking? Just being someone who works for you? You know,
he didn't even do that. He took a risk by going to a very
Koch
wealthy, Foster Freeze, who died like a couple years back. His risk was going up to Foster Freeze, who his dad knew because his dad was a contractor, and asking him for money.
That's pretty
which
risky.
he got.
That's risky though. It could have been embarrassing if he said no. Would have felt bad for a little while.
But regardless, don't you love that they're doing why don't you give away all your money? When I was making $60,000 a year, like that doesn't even make sense even now. Obviously, like it's the same argument that they make to me now. They're like, Hasan, you're rich, give away all your money then. And it's like, yeah, dude, if I gave away all of my money, okay, if I gave away all my money and we eradicated global poverty, I would do it in a heartbeat. What are we talking about? But the amount of money that I have, unfortunately, is not going to do that, okay? It's ridiculous. Foster Freeze went out of business too. Yeah, maybe he gave too much money. Well, he went out of business because he's dead. But go live in a commune. Oh, man.
Start a business every single day. I practice what I preach. He wants other people to contribute to what he considers to be a good idea, what he considers will make the world a better place. That you have the freedom to go live as a socialist. Go do it, Hasan. What's stopping you?
Okay,
right.
so here's why this is ridiculous. And the last point I will make is this. Here's why that conversation is absolutely preposterous. If I gave away the measly earnings that I had and gave away 95% of that,
how much do you make,
that wouldn't necessarily even push the needle. I will be very honest. It's really embarrassing, especially because my boss is sitting right there. I make $60,000 a year, okay? And that's a really good salary, but it's not like what Ted Cruz's wife was talking about the other day when she said $174,000 salary a year. It's not like we're gonna buy a second home anytime soon, but that's besides the point, okay? You're trying to attack me, which is ridiculous, like asking me what my salary is. Sure, I'll reveal it willingly.
You brought it up in context. I'm asking, why don't you live like a socialist?
Okay.
Go live like a socialist.
That's so like, oh yeah, dude, how much money do you make? It's like, okay, I make 60 grand. Like, what am I, who am I saving with that? I need government assistance, dumbass. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, Jesus Christ. He owned him. He has a lot of money now. Why didn't he give it away? How many people can I save with the amount of money that I could redistribute? It's like, I love when these guys basically turn into like anarchist babies on Twitter who are like, oh, if I had Assange money, I'd open up a soup kitchen immediately. I'd like stop streaming and immediately just open up a soup kitchen. It's like, okay, so then what next? Like, where's the stream of income coming from to maintain the soup kitchen? Like, what are we doing? Oh, I haven't really thought about that. Yeah, that's why, because you're a 14-year-old anarchist, okay? You read Kropotkin, and now you think you unlock the secrets of the world. You baby. The end. Anyway.
The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist. I live What do I do? I get charity every single year.
Hold on.
What's my salary? Less than his.
Charlie, take a
Come on,
seat.
Shank, let's go.
Charlie,
What are you doing? Sit down.
take a seat. Take a seat. All right, no. Take a seat. You're gonna take a seat. You're gonna take a seat.
I love that the people that, dude, that's so awesome. That was a legendary moment. I think.
What was he yelling back to him? You couldn't pick up. Shank's thing.
What Jank was saying? I don't know. I don't remember. But I do find it really funny because he's like, I live like a capitalist every day, Jank. I give to charity. And it's really funny because, like, normally these are the same people who are like, oh, you got emotional, you lost. But of course, like when Charlie Kirk is like crying like a baby on stage,
you.
yeah, when he's crying like a baby on stage, they're like, "Oh, that's actually cool that he did that." No, he got emotional.
Oh my God!
What's my salary?
All right.
Ridiculous. All right, behave, everyone. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I practice what I preach, Shank.
Charlie.
You do not practice what you preach.
Charlie.
All right, hold on.
I live like a capitalist every single day,
You
Shank.
don't want to give him the attention here.
Everyone.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank.
This is what his face looks like now.
Yeah. When you put up the video, I'm like,
I live like a capitalist every single day. I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank.
I made this.
I wish you could redo this face and all, but I hate seeing him getting to you. You handle heckling like he started with, so legendary now. What do you mean?
You looked pretty chill there, to be fair. I don't know.
What did this guy say? Oh, I missed it. Nobody beats creation, not even with a really strong preference of governing self in the death spiral. What? What is this guy doing? World already showed their colors. The slave population wasn't producing enough. What? Dude, there's so many people like this in my chat sometimes, like where they're just like, they should be taking their medication. You know what I mean?
It's just, I find it so depressing. It's like these people are so siloed that they like come up with their own like political theory without any kind of conversation with anyone else.
Yeah. We need to keep that guy? No, we're keeping him. Chen got so pissed that you said you got paid $60K. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, he was mad. He's like, oh, why are you leaking the secrets?
5,000 donors across the country, my friend Shank. We are funded by the grassroots of this country. You
Foster Freeze. Dude, Turning Point USA is funded by the grassroots of this country is so funny.
I mean, it's true in their ideology because this is just a guy who pulled himself up by his bootstraps. You know? He's a regular guy. He's just super rich.
It's just funny because it's like the exact opposite of grassroots, obviously, because it's like billionaires and millionaires. Like it's literally just astroturfing. Like making it seem like you have this like robust people back movement when it's just like a couple people. It's like 8 people giving you the money.
You could try to demagogue it all you want.
$60,000, Hasan, that would take him more than 50 years of living with zero expenses to buy the $3 million mansion he just bought in Los Angeles. But
wait,
it's like a 2018 video and he linked to an article from 3 years ago.
Yo, I can't have a conversation with a person like this. This is like not a human. Like this person is too stupid to be declared like a human being. He's like medically something else, dude. What? That's crazy. How do you deal with 1 million people thinking that like this debate happened yesterday and I wasn't making 60 grand back then? Like, how do I deal with that?
You say you're good at basketball, but last time I checked 30 years ago, you couldn't walk. So something doesn't quite add up here, Hasan. Someone's lying here.
How old is this video? This video is from 2 days ago, chatter. Turning Point UK is a bad idea. They're trying to, because there's a charity with that name, helps the homeless. What?
Huh?
Bro forgot to make this video 3 years ago. 3 years ago, this video would still be old. It's a debate from 2018. He watched a debate from 2018 and linked to an article from 2021 to be like, wow, dude, kind of weird. How did you buy a $3 million house with a 60 grand a year salary? Maybe we all heard that wrong. Play it back. Yeah.
Take a seat over here.
Oh my God. What's my salary?
All right. Hey, Charlie.
You do not practice what you preach.
Charlie. All right, hold on. Last point. You don't want to give him the attention here.
Everyone, 35,000 donors across the country, my friend.
Last point.
We are funded by the grassroots of this country. You can try to demagogue it all you want.
$60,000, Hasan. That would take him more than 50 years of living with zero expenses to buy the $3 million mansion he just bought in Los Angeles. But
oh no, he's stupid. He's just dumb. So much of conservatism just revolves around you being stupid. Like, I don't know how to argue against that. I don't know how to argue against a person that doesn't understand concepts like the passage of time. Like, how do you, like, that's not even like a baby. I think a baby can understand the passage of time. This person has failed to comprehend that. I think, and there's like an entire, like there are a million people who are like, yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's insane though, like how quickly the housing market has degraded. Like it was at a shit position back then. Now things are so much more expensive. I remember like 2021 when I heard about your horrendous garish $3 million house. I was like, that's a, hefty sum of money. Like now in Sydney, there's no house in Sydney, even in the periphery, that's under $1 million.
Also, I didn't buy it with a lump sum of cash. Like I got a 30-year mortgage on it. Like what? I mean, damn, you were saying right-wing commentary is easy, but I didn't think it was this easy. Yeah, I'm in awe of the stupidity in display here. And also the dumb bitches in the chat going, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's right. You got, baby. Like, dude, you have no object permanence. Like, what the he doesn't understand the passage of time. He does not have object permanence. How do you deal with a person like that? You just can't. Like, you just send him to a mountain so he can just slap rocks for the rest of his life.
I don't even think he's like trying to argue with you. He's trying to make a YouTube channel. Like this is a business. Like, it doesn't really matter.
I'm not gonna lie. You did get cooked. 60K does not equal 3 million.
He's gonna start reciting the Shahada. Yeah, he's doing the.
Yeah,
he's doing the learned scholar.
But that's besides the point. There's nothing wrong with making money and buying what you want. The problem is when your actions don't line up with your words, even while lecturing other people's morality on that very basis. I think Charlie Kirk throughout this entire debate tried to match the loudness of his opponent, which is certainly a different tactic.
Yeah, that's why
he was jumping up and down.
Yeah, that's why I was jumping up and down, and that's what he did. he was panting like an animal, jumping up and down, just like me.
Remaining calm in response, and obviously doesn't work when you got someone like Cenk shouting from the audience. Why does Cenk seem to lose his cool at the worst possible time every time? And it certainly did nothing to help Hasan, in fact only made his side look weaker, and the larger point...
Wait, so Cenk made my side look weaker even though I was calm and collected in that moment. Charlie got up and started screaming and crying. And... Wait... He didn't mean his son, right? No, he meant his side.
No, nothing to help Hasan, in fact, only made his side look weaker.
Yeah, he didn't say his son.
And the larger point, I think, it's the conversation like this that reveals just how much intellectual depth there is in the pundits and streamers that so many people go to.
So, yeah, I like that the pivotal, like the big point here was that, like, the big own here is that I'm lying about how much money I made in 2018. which isn't even in 2018. It's in 2021, which is still not how much money I make now, which is what he's sourcing off of. Yeah, I love that videos like this get 1 million views in 2 days. It truly demonstrates how devolved we have become as a society.
I feel like I don't even care about socialism anymore. I would like to have a channel that gets views.
Yeah. Bro, people in the comments are saying you bought the house to help smuggle illegal immigrants. These people are lost.
I mean, that is true. We are always crashing here from Australia, undocumented.
Oh, that's right. You are. Oh my God.
We wouldn't have anywhere to live.
This is I'm genuinely in awe like of how much momentum a video like this can have. This country was founded on Christian values and this country was built on capitalism.
Cool.
Nice 2018 debate footage. Oh, this is one of mine for sure. This debate happened in 2018. You've been deceived by this editing. You have the cognitive function of a tree stump. It's funny to call yourself a millionaire mentor, but not understand how mortgages work.
You've never seen an intellectual beating.
I legitimately don't know what to say about a video like this. Like makes you realize Piker has never read a 20th century history book.
Yeah, you're famously referencing communism from the 1900s.
Yeah. Just tweet and tell me what part of this is pro-capitalism. The federal government mobilized within 24 hours to protect hedge fund managers, but left American families to suffer lockdown and jobless for 10 months while they debated a stimulus bill.
It looks like you obliterated him. He's on your side.
Yeah, Charlie is a commie now. Alexa, make sure your CIA torture video is titled "Obliterating Hasan Piker."
Oh yeah,
true.
Yes. That's never coming out though, but good point. I'll do that.
Wow.